Good morning, and thank you for being here with us on this beautiful, here in Connecticut, we have a beautiful Friday morning. Finally, a really feeling of spring today, I feel. And I hope that I'm glad you all are able to join me inside for the class, and then I hope you'll have a chance to get outside a little bit later. So we're gonna have a fun class with our little yellow ball today. If you do not have one of these little squishy balls, use a little cushion, a small pillow. You can do everything with that as well. And Peter's going to be joining us, and I just want to say to start that Peter had a little injury in the studio yesterday to his low back, so he will still be helping us out as a student, but he will show a lot of modified poses today, and I will demonstrate all the rest of them. So, but you all know me, you know the movements, and we'll get started. So I just wanted to spend a moment, and we'll talk a little bit about posture in the sense of what happens in the cervical spine today, and you'll see it go through a lot of the movements. So before we start on that, and before we get started moving and more mindful and inside ourselves, I just wanted to sort of give a little moment on thinking about what the cervical spine means in terms of movement. I've talked with a few students during this week about this, and what I'm talking about is when I say draw your chin towards your throat, and what I mean by that. What I do not mean by draw your chin towards your throat is either tucking your head way back in a line, which sometimes you'll have people instruct if you have had postural situations. That's not what I mean. And I also do not mean bring your chin down to your throat and then start the movement from there. What we're looking for when I say draw your chin towards your throat is engaging the muscles, the tissues at the front side. We all know we have all the muscles on the sides and the back of the neck and the shoulders that become tight and that hold our head up. And they certainly work hard when we are bent forward over a computer or sitting over something for a long time. On the front, we have the neck just a little bit. They will help support the head and the neck, not only when we're standing, but in every position and when we are working in our positions and poses and movements through space in all planes. So we will talk a little bit about how that works. So the cervical spine, of course, is this lordosis, should be this curvature that curves forward a little bit and leaves a little space behind. And the head should be, if all perfect and ideal, balancing right on top. But let's go through it together. So that was just a little bit about that. But just to say, we have 7 cervical vertebrae. There's 31 total in the spine, 12 in the thoracic in the upper back, and then 5 in the lumbar spine. Then we have the sacrum. But just to remember that the cervical spine is not one joint, 7 or 8 connections. So we will we'll just pay attention to that as we go through. Well, let's get going. Grab your ball and stand at the end of your mat. Why don't you stand on that end for just now? We'll switch sides. I'll stand on this side. And you can just start by placing the ball right between your feet, just between your ankles, and just notice it's there. And just sense your body standing on the floor. And that little bit, perhaps, it's not that you're compressing, just that contact to the ball. So don't pay too much attention, just a sense that it's there. And then begin to feel your weight onto your feet and the gentle rock to the front and the back, and just noticing where you are landing just this morning, today. How's your body arriving onto your feet? Make sure that your knees are perhaps not tightened or clenched. Just because you have the ball between the knees, between the ankles, you can still feel sort of soft around the knees. And then switch your weight from side to side gently, and finding gradually that place for yourself as you come back to stillness, where it feels that you are even side to side down through your feet. So front to back, side to side, any other direction as well, right? You can go in a little tiny circle in one direction. Just kind of let your body find where it feels at ease, right in the center, where your weight is perhaps down through the ankle and right in front of the ankle. And then move your awareness up your legs. So from the ankles to your knees, again, feeling the softness around your kneecap and that sense of space inside your knees. And then moving your awareness up the inside and the outside and the front and the back of the thighs, and just noticing what is going on. Can you already sense that you're maybe, just because you have the little ball there, maybe grabbing a little bit of the glutes? Can you let go of a little bit of that and still have the sensation? So it's amazing what one little contact surface area facilitates in terms of the nervous system and what we feel we need to use. So feeling as much letting go at the glutes as you can, or not over recruiting, and then feeling the position or sensing the position of your pelvis. You can just sense it. You can place your hands on the pelvis and feel that if you gently allow it to rock forward and back, you can imagine a pelvis full of water, and you can imagine that you are letting it roll over the edges to the front and the back. And then if you're thinking about the connection to the femur, like we have a few times, the feeling of, or the image of the pelvis rolling up and over and around of the femoral head. So you're having this gentle fluid in between, and that gentle undulating feeling to the front and the back, beginning to release tissues in and around the pelvis, the hips, the low back, beginning to sort of open up your whole system of movement, your whole system of fluids moving. And then the sensation of your spine as it rises, the small of the back. If you can sense the lordosis, a little bit of curvature, a little bit of swaying that we have naturally in the spine, in the low back, a little bit of going in the opposite direction through the thoracic spine, the upper spine, and the ribs. And then the little curvature of the cervical spine. Hopefully we have a little bit, some of us have a straightened neck if we've had many injuries to the neck or episodes of pain. Sometimes the spine will seem more straight, but imagine that gentle curvature, and then the head standing on top or sitting on top, floating on top. And imagine that it's sitting in just in a little support, and just very gently, again, as if you could, very softly move the head side to side, front to back, as if you can feel that gentle glide in all directions. There. Front to back, side to side, and allowing your head to arrive calmly and quietly on top of the spine with as little effort and tension on all sides, the feeling of weight and length of your arms along your side. And just for a moment, begin to imagine that at the top of your spine is a null, at the top of your cervical spine where it meets your skull at the occiput. And imagine that when you're beginning to now allow your chin to look towards your throat, like I often will say, imagine that before you look down at the throat, imagine that you have to look up and over. So your skull has to come up and over the null, so you become longer. And with that, you can feel the length and then the gentle drawing down towards your throat. And when you release that, feel that the skull, the top of the head, or the occiput is lifting itself up and over again. And just repeat that a couple of times, the feeling of lifting up and over and then looking down. What it means is that you're already beginning to move from the very top of the cervical spine and release. And you may feel that the tissues right at the back of the spine, as you do it one more time, become longer. And some of us can feel the little tension there. And then on the next time, do the same thing and feel that you're rolling down and rolling down. And imagine that you are now beginning your roll down at the very top. And you're just going to go to the end of your cervical spine, just feeling that you're reaching down or rolling down. And then unroll your cervical spine as if you had a little string connected to each of the vertebrae as you slowly roll up and finally find the crown point. Try it a couple more times just so you get the feeling that there's movement in the cervical spine. There. And roll back up. If we do not use the cervical spine in this way when we roll, what you'll end up seeing is more of a movement of a shearing from the lower part of the cervical spine. And that ends up giving us postural problems. Some of you have heard of a dowager's hump, that type of thing. If we want to avoid that, we want to use the whole movement of the spine. Let's move on. From here, standing up. So we'll review that as we go through different movements and different planes. So standing up tall, inhaling, starting our roll down, bringing the chin towards your throat by lifting up and over the knoll. Always remember that from now on. And notice how much work you're doing before you're even beginning to roll down your spine in the upper spine. And when you need to soften your knees, go ahead and do that. And let your body just rest somewhere where it first arrives the first time. Maybe your hands at your knees, maybe at the shins, maybe at your ankles. And then on your next breath, when it's comfortable for you, send your tailbone down, right in the pelvis, roll up, feel the whole spine a little at a time. And when you come to the top, continue the roll, feel it really significantly through the cervical spine, that mindfulness to the very top. And notice how much is happening and how long it takes if you do it mindfully. And again, sometimes if you watch a person do it slowly, it may just mean that they're touching a few points that are easy to skip over otherwise. And roll down, letting your body relax and begin to lengthen and open and breathe. And then send your tailbone down and roll to the top. And once you come to the very top and your shoulders are beginning to drop back and down, feel how you can lift and lengthen your cervical spine and your crown point is to the top. Good. On the next time, roll down, same thing up and over. Taking a little time to begin to move and feeling that you're moving through the cervical spine, your shoulders and arms feel heavy and long in front of you. Knees are softening if you feel that feels good. Weight is right in the center of the foot. Head feels as if it's resting onto the floor, into your hands. And then you can just take the ball out now with you. We're going to bring it with us. But then you can walk your hands forward until you come down to your hands and knee position here. Hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips, and let your spine roll up into a cat stretch. And let it lengthen again and reach. Same thing here. When we allow the gaze to glide under us, feel as if the cervical spine is slowly coming in over the knoll, even in this shape, and looking towards the throat, but not closing off our airstream and not really tightening the front, but just feeling the length and the support of the spine. So you end up looking somewhere near your knees, and then release first in the pelvis, lengthen your spine, and at the very end, unroll your cervical spine and find the length as your crown point reaches forward and up. And 2 more times, roll to the back, sending your tailbone down, lifting through the small of the back, feeling the length without tightening too much. Don't squish your throat, just let it feel connected. And then releasing and lengthening, and really find the length, really find the length, really find the length. And let me just lengthen you here. There. So that feeling of feeling long at the end through the back of the spine. And then one more time, reach forward. So this would be reaching forward when we're in this plane. That would be the up. And then rolling up, finding a length in the spine. And slowly release. And at the very end, feeling the length in the cervical, in the neck part of your spine, and finding the length as you reach long. Just a little bit of a different perspective. Very good. Take your ball, sit onto the floor, and place the ball right between your knees. Good. And sit up tall. Arms are reaching forward. And just begin to roll to the back of your sit bones just a little bit, feeling the little roll coming down into your hammock position. And slowly roll up and sit up tall. So once again, since we're sort of in the lecturing mode on this, we'll just bring it in here again. So as you roll to the back, rolling just behind your sit bones, allowing your body to begin to find the C curve. Feel that you can lengthen your spine and you're connecting to the front, not by pressing into your throat, not by lifting your head up, but by finding that length and slowly feeling that beginning of finding the knoll. So it's as if you're coming up and over the knoll right as you're reaching back. So that allows you to feel deeper, to feel longer, to lengthen through the crown point, and roll back up. And then take your ball and place it right behind you. That one where you sort of almost sit on it, but not quite. Legs are feet are sit bones width apart, and your hands can be on your knees, or you can choose to have them forward. But if they're on your knees, sitting up tall, finding the length with your natural curvature, and then starting at the bottom of the spine, slowly sending the tailbone forward, and feel as if your pubic bone or your belly button is reaching in towards the center of the ball. And once you're there, pause for a moment. See if you can find more depth and more length in the spine. And you can find it by really reaching deep from the belly button and the pubic bone, but not by sucking in the stomach. It's that sense of almost reaching away from your feet. And then find the length up through your body. Find that deepening. Find the length through the crown point. And that sense that you're coming up and over the knoll. And notice how you just got longer in the spine and how you feel more connected from the tailbone to the crown point, as opposed to letting it go somewhere in between and maybe have the head sort of float wherever it was. But that length, it has everything to do with utilizing the deep neck flexors as well that you're now aware of. And then from here, come out of the position, keeping your C-curve, and lift your spine up. And let's repeat that a few times. And then slowly roll back to the back as if you're rolling behind your sit bones, finding that place right where it feels nice and soft and flat above the sit bones. And then finding that gentle pressure as if you're sending your body away from the feet, lengthening through the spine, and find the length all the way up as you connect through your spine. And you'll find that beautiful length and opening and release at the back of the neck. And roll forward. One other thing that will happen when you do it this way is when you engage the front of the neck a little bit, you will have an easier time releasing the back. There. And roll to the front. And one more time, roll to the back. Pause right there. Find that nice position right there. Send one arm above your head. Send the other arm above your head. Pause right there if it's comfortable. Bring one arm down. Bring the other arm down and roll up. And now place your left hand on your right knee. Roll to the back again. Open to the right. And glide up through. Right hand is onto the left knee. And open to the left. And as you continue a couple more times, feel that you can find the same curve through the cervical spine, because how easy is it to come back here and kind of hold on to your head? If you trust that support of the spine, you can keep your length even as you're going back, as opposed to having to hold your head forward. One more time to each side, finding the length, allowing the front of your tissues on your spine to support. And one more time. Breathing and opening and release. Beautiful. Move the ball up just a little bit and then have it right under just where the shoulder blades end, or right where your bra strap are if you have a bra on. And then place your hands right behind your head, interlace your hands, knees are bent. And take a moment to become comfortable there, and then let your upper body begin to drape itself up and over, and get that nice extension up and over, allowing your body to release here. And then gently drape in the opposite direction, finding your breastbone with your mindful eye, and feel how it wants to almost look out through your knees or your thighs, and let it slowly and gradually glide up to look at the ceiling and maybe towards your head end of the mat. And just give yourself a moment here, going back and forth a couple of times. And if it feels particularly good, give yourself a moment to drape and lengthen up and over, allowing the tissues to the front to release. And slowly back. And just one last time, up and over. There you go. Good. And this last time, pause there for a moment, allowing the opening. Let your arms drape themselves up and over. Find the back of your legs. Walk your feet out a little bit so you have a little ballast, so you can just roll yourself up one more time. Place the ball between your knees. And slowly roll yourself or walk yourself down your legs until you're lying onto your back. And bring your feet a little bit closer under you. Good. And from here, feet are, there you are. Allow the knees to glide, arms are a little bit wider than the mat. Allow the knees to glide to one side and just allow the ball to be there. It'll kind of roll a little bit, but it'll stay there. So don't pay 100% focus on the ball, pay more focus on your body, and just let the ball roll with the movement. It's still a connector between you, between your legs. And lengthen. And this one, allow your body to lengthen. Take a moment in the position to breathe. So allow your knees to reach and your hip to roll over the opposite hip. Breathe into the front of the ribs and slowly start under your left shoulder, if that's the side you're at, and roll back. And 1 or 2 more times to each side, allowing your body the time it takes for you, finding the place where your breath and your movement feels at one. Feels like a nice, organic, harmonious. It's one of the nicest feeling when the breath and the movement are one. When one is not held and one is not leading. And then next time you return your legs to vertical position, pause right there. Arc your arms up under your head, interlace them right under your back of your head. Good. From this position, go into first a bridging position. So leaving your arms here in this position, there you go. Feel that you're just gently connecting the ribs to the front and you're allowing the, you can stay right on the floor for a second, and you can reach the upper ribs down towards the mat. So that feeling of drawing the back of your ribs towards the mat. And then inhale, press your feet into the floor and begin to let your pelvis away from the floor just a little bit, reaching through the knees. You're not really squeezing the ball, it's just there, it's a connector, it's giving your body more information as to where you are in space at the moment. And then slowly, slowly, let one vertebra, one rib down to the floor. Good. And again, inhale. And exhale, roll up, feeling the length. Good. Taking a moment at the top, letting your sacrum float a little higher, your ribs drop maybe a little bit, that's it. And then starting and taking it a little bit slower as you come down. And just one more time. And this one, inhale, exhale, press into your feet, feeling the length through your knees, over your toes, feeling the length through your crown point, that opening of the body. A breath in, and on your either inhale or exhale, whichever feels good to you, roll back down. From here, leave your ball right where it is, hands are behind your head, inhale, and then exhale, bring your chin in the direction of your throat and roll up until you look towards your knees. Inhale as you lower back down, and now again in this position, feel that you become longer first, and that your skull glides over the null, so you become longer, and then you bring your chin down, and then your cervical spine is rolling, your ribs are rolling to the back, your shoulders are coming away from the floor, and then you slowly find the floor, and slowly let your cervical spine back, and your neck and your head back. Spend a couple more times just really finding that feeling of up and over in the long way, connecting, supporting your neck as you roll away from the floor, and roll back down. And one more time. Roll up and away. Good. All right. Good. And roll back down. All right. Let your arms open above your head. Inhale, exhale, and as you glide up and over, find that connection. Chin to throat, roll up, take the ball between your knees and roll down and lower back to the floor. And exhale up. Place the ball between your knees and lower back. Good. And again, roll up. And roll back down. And once more, roll up. Place the ball and roll back down. Good. Arms along your side. Bring your legs up in 90-90. Make sure your ball is nice and comfortable right between your knees. And from here, just lowering, arcing into the femur arc, lowering the heels down towards the floor and back up. And down towards the floor and back up. And down towards the floor and back up, reaching more out than in with your heels. There you go. And keeping your ribs to the floor, keeping the length of the neck. Make sure that even now your cervical, the neck, the flexor, deep flexors are connected so that your chin Feels your idle side would be straight forward. And one more time. Exhale down. Inhale up. Pause right here. Now turn your knees so both knees are pointing towards your left shoulder. Now your feet are pointing towards the outside of the mat. Lower your heels down towards that side of the mat. Bring them back up and rotate to the opposite side. Getting a little oblique work in and turn. And make sure you're not swinging through. Come right up, twist, and lower, and up, and twist, and lower straight. So the feet land at the same time if you're touching the floor. So make sure you're not swinging over, but twisting and lower. Good. And up. Good. And again. And lengthen your spine a little bit at the neck. There you go. And one more time to each side. And up. And the last. And up. And slowly lower your feet back to the floor. Well done. All right. Take the ball. Place it under your left foot and ankle. Good. From here, lie all the way down to the floor, arms along your side. Send your right leg up into 90-90. And now extend the right leg to the ceiling. And now we just got that little instability. So we got to keep our pelvis and our spine nice and supported. And then just start making small circles with your leg. Small swirls, really small. They don't have to be big. You want to feel controlled. You want to feel that your lower leg stays nice, almost like you're pressing the whole leg towards the floor gently. If you press too hard, it'll move. And try the other direction. There. And you can try it with your hands away from the floor the first direction again. See if it makes a difference. Maybe, maybe not. And try the second direction. Good. And then bring the leg, arms along the side again. Straighten your legs straight to the ceiling. Lower the leg long towards the floor. Slide along the floor. Bring it to the ceiling and lower. And draw back. And lower. Both legs pressing towards the floor and lower. Now reverse the direction. Send your right leg straight up. Bend the knee. Glide right out along the floor. And lift, and bend, and straighten, and lift, and bend, and reach, and one more time, and bend, and reach, and pause right there. You can bend your knee, and then you can just switch the ball over to the other. If you can do it without getting up, then do that. There you are, feeling really long supported. Good. Send your left leg towards the 90-90 position. Straighten straight to the ceiling. Find a position where you feel that support. It'll wiggle a little bit to start with. And then small circles, very small circles with the leg in one direction. And in the opposite direction. Good. And there you go. And try the first direction once more, just feeling the length. There you go. One direction, there you go. And the opposite again. Yeah. And then sending the leg straight to the ceiling. Good. Lower it towards the floor, draw in towards you, and extend to the ceiling, and feel that you're pressing both legs down and away and draw in like a long bicycle movement, and reach and draw in. And again. And one more time. Now reverse. Draw your foot to the floor, extend and reach. Just hovering above the floor as you glide out, like you're just licking the mat, and then reach to the ceiling, and just one more time. There. And reach. Very good. Bend your knee. Bring the ball a little closer to you and place it right under the pelvis if that is comfortable for you. So you're lifting your hips and just placing it right under the sacrum, a comfortable spot for you. Good. That feel comfortable for you? Is that okay? Yeah. Bring one knee towards you. And then bring the other leg towards you. And just take a moment to bring your knees towards your throat. or towards your belly rather. Say that a lot of times. There you go. And just take a moment to allow a little rocking side to side, front to back, allowing that length and release in the lumbosacral fascial tissues there, just allowing it to open up a little bit. Good. Great. And then send your legs in 90-90, your arms along the side. Extend both legs to the ceiling. Good. Scissor kicks, sending one leg down towards the floor and then switching and switch and switch, and have a nice precise length of the movement and reach. Keep that feeling. Can you still feel the connection at the front? We don't want to feel that we're overdoing at the front, but just that you are connected. That'll help the connection of the deep abdominal wall, the pelvic floor. Starts, cores, the whole thing. And one more with each. And pause at the top. Small circles, both legs to the sides, sweep down to the center and lift up and up. And there you go. And you can make them as big as you're comfortable. I said small, but you can go a little bit bigger than that. That's good. Yeah. And up. As your hips, as your spine, as everything feels comfortable. And there. And now reverse direction, lower sweep. And lower sweep. And lower sweep. Breathe softly through the whole thing. There. And again. And one last. There. And lower. Good. Both legs. Bicycling with both legs. So we are in this position. Extend your legs to the ceiling. Lower them towards the floor. Bend the knees, draw them in, and you can straight up and lengthening. And drop back in and find the place where you find your quiver point. So as your ribs are still lowering towards the floor in the back, feel that connection. And if you begin to lose it, that's definitely your point. And one more time in this direction. And then let's reverse, glide out and lift. And pull down and glide out. And lower. And a couple more. There. And the last time, reach out, 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 and lift. Good. All right. Bring your knees towards your chest. Hold on to your left knee. Send your right leg long and let your body lengthen over the ball, using the ball as a fulcrum to allow that length of the hip flexors on the right side at the moment. There you go. And just feel the length. Feel that relaxation down and opening down the front of the hip. Let your body breathe. Allow your body to release that sense of letting go from the inside out. No need to hold on to the tissues right here for the moment. And when you feel you've had a nice release here, then go ahead and switch leg. Stay. Bring the other leg up and allow the hip flexors to lengthen. Feel that lengthening of the leg that's on the floor. Feel the opening at the front of the hip. Breathe, relax. Good. And don't work too hard in this one. This is a question of not working hard. This is not working. This is listening, allowing your body to know that it's safe to release. So rather than trying to get long, let your body be, and it will find a way to release and become long. Good. And very gently draw your left leg up under you, or the leg that was down, place it on the floor. And then place the other foot on the floor, take the ball out right under you. Good. All right. Nicely done. Place the ball right next to you. Lie onto your back, one leg into 90-90, the other leg into 90-90. Ready for the 100. Arms can be hovering above the floor. If you have a sore back, you can keep this position for today, right? So you know that with the 100, you have lots of options. You can also use the ball if you'd like. Actually, why don't we do this? Let's place the ball right. Everybody grab your ball or your pillow and place it right between the feet, giving a little bit of a different input here. 90-90. Hovering your arms just above the floor, roll, bring your chin towards your throat, roll up into your chest lift position. This position, whichever position you choose for your legs. And then here we go, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. And in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, and in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 4, 5, and nice and vigorous. And out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 4, 5, and in. And out, 2 more. And in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. The last 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring your knees towards you. Take the ball. Lower your body to the floor. And just wiggle or bring your knees to the chest if you need to do that. Good. All right. Good. Bring your arms above your head. Lengthen your arms above your head. Lengthen your legs beneath you. Inhale as you reach to the ceiling. Exhale as you roll up. And come all the way to sitting. If you need a little wedge, that's not going to help. So if your back is sore today, you can do this one just back to this little position and come back up. So avoid the whole lying down. Those of you who do not have a sore back today, sitting up tall, allow the ball to come to your legs, roll up your body, extend above your head. Inhale as you reach to the ceiling. Exhale as you roll up and over, let the ball roll down along your legs. Come all the way up to sitting. Inhale as you roll back, let the ball roll up your body all the way. Extend above your head and inhale. Exhale. Coming all the way forward, let the ball lengthen. Come all the way to sitting tall. And inhale as you roll back. And once more, inhale up, exhale, roll. Let your body come into a nice long spine stretch. Inhale to the ceiling and pause. Good. Place your hands right behind your hips, ball is to the side, feet a little hip width apart. Press the heels of the legs and the lower leg into the floor, heels of the hand into the floor. Pivot through and let your body come into it. There you go, leg pull position, sitting up tall. And again, press the heels of the hand into the floor. Your fingers can point to the side, they can point to the front. There. And pivot through and lengthen. And inhale back. If this one is hard, you are welcome. You can go ahead and continue. You are welcome to instead go into a little bit of a bridge here. Or if that feels hard for your shoulders because the position is hard, feel free to do the little chest lift here or the little reverse chest lift where you send your breastbone to the sky. So any of these to get a nice reversal of your spine right now. Wherever you're at, 2 more, whichever one you just chose, and send your body up and away. And lower. And the last time, up and away. Pause at the top. Send your weight to the left leg and lift the right. And switch. And switch. Feel the deep neck flexors connecting as you are looking slightly forward. So we're not dropping the head back, right? So we're keeping that length in the spine, that connection through the crown point. There. And there. And one more with each. And lift. And lift. And lower back down. Roll onto your tummy. All the way onto your tummy. There you go. Take your ball, have it right under your breastbone if you're comfortable. If not, just forget a ball and you can do everything without the ball there, your pillow. So there you are, hands right next to your shoulders. And imagine that you feel long through your spine. So here we are in a new position again, feeling long through the spine, feeling the connection of that gentle dropping the chin towards the throat, which is not a tucking, which is not a bending, but that length of the spine, feeling that you become longer at the back of your spine, longer through the crown point, and you're looking slightly down. Press into your heels of your hands, feel that your legs are nice and aligned, and then press into the heel of the hand and imagine that you're now rolling the ball forward with your breastbone just a little bit, and then roll it back under you as if you're rolling the ball closer to your belly. And now roll the ball away. And imagine and feel that you can roll it under you. Can you feel you're almost drawing it under you? And roll out. And roll under. Good. And a couple more times, roll up and out. And roll under. And once more, roll up and out. Pause right here. There. Bend one knee. Bend the other leg. And see if your top of your crown point can create a long sphere, and just imagine that it's touching your toes or your heels. And you're lifting through the whole back of your body to lift back. Or you're lifting your heels towards your crown point. And then lengthen your legs. Good. Take the ball out from under, place it right between your ankles. Once the ball is between your ankles, then place your hands in front of you, forehead resting right on top of your back of your hands. Finding the length in your spine for a moment. Bend your knees so the feet are pointing to the ceiling, and lift the knees away from the floor. So lifting the thighs and the knees away from the floor as best you can. Lower the legs down, extend your knees so the legs are now long, and lift the legs away from the floor. And lower the knees, and lift up and away, and lower. And extend your legs, and reach long and away. Inhale back down, bend your knees, and reach up towards the ceiling, and lower back down, extend and lift. And again, two more. Bend the knees, lift to the ceiling, lower the legs, extend the legs, straighten them, and lift again. And one more time, bend your knees, lift, lift, lift. And the last time, extend and reach long, 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 long. Good. Pause here in that position. Whoops. Legs are long. Yep, you're right there. Sweep your arms behind you. Lengthen more through your body and find your dart right here. There you go. Good. Lengthen through your crown point. Once again, can you feel the connection to the front of your neck? Can you feel longer through your spine as opposed to kinking the neck back a little bit? And then gently press to the ceiling, arms to the ceiling, a little pump. And a couple more. You got it. And lengthen and lengthen and lengthen. And then bring your hands next to your shoulders. Let the ball on your feet down. Roll up and sit back in your child pose. There. Find a position that feels good for you. The ball can stay there, or you can move it away, whichever feels good for you. Yeah. Yeah. Feeling the sit bones reaching for the heels. Noticing your breath. Good. Breathe into the area that you felt you used a lot, or the area that needs it. Send a little love, a little gratitude there. Thank you for the hard work. Thank you for opening. Thank you for trying. There you go. Breathe for a moment longer, allowing your belly to feel open towards the floor. And slowly roll out of this position. And let's find our way to the side, lying on your side. Grab your ball once again, or your pillow. There you go. So you're now lying on we're lying on our left side. You can be on whichever side. We try to repeat them so that they're the same on both sides, and sometimes we succeed. So bring the ball or the pillow right under your ribs. You are on your forearm and your elbow. And take a moment to lift yourself up and away. And then take a moment to come down towards the ball and give it a little extra squeeze with your ribs. Reach your ribs into the ball. And then send your body away and find that length on both sides, as if the sit bone on top is reaching down over towards the floor. You're almost coming away from the ball. And then you're slowly, and it might roll just a little bit. That's good. And reach. And again. Good. And then find a place where your spine feels nice and long. In this position, guess what? Pay attention to what it feels like in the front. If the head is hanging out here towards the back, I can guarantee you're not engaging to the front. If you feel that nice support through the back of the neck that feels long, if you feel length through the front, if you feel a connection down through the front, then you probably got it. So lengthen through the front, send your top leg long. Good. Lifting to the side, lifting 1 and 2, 3. So the ball is there for support. It's not there to lie on. Just feel that you're lifting yourself almost away from the ball. And 8. And circle 1, 2, 3. And sweep. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Reverse 1. Feeling the length in the spine. Soften your face as if you're smiling from within. And good. And there. Keep your leg long, fold at the hip, 2 small pumps, and sweep to the through back. And pump, pump, and sweep through. And pump, pump, and sweep. And pump, pump, and sweep. And again. And the last time here. And lengthen. Good. Leave your leg right where it is. Extend your arm down and over the ball and let your body feel really nice and long in a nice long side. And let that arm up over your head if you're comfortable there. And just feel that length, feel the reach in both directions. Good. And this leg can stay bent just for support. Perfect. Good. And then you can, from this position, you can almost feel as if you're trying to roll and let your breastbone and your nose look towards the floor a little bit. You can roll it as if you're opening yourself to the sky. And one more time, rolling to the front, feeling the length through the heel still. And roll to the side. Good. All right. And from there, glide yourself back up. Use a hand on the floor if you need to do that to come back up to sit. Still from this side, hand is on the ball. And then let's just get our nice long side glide and side roll out to the side. So can you see me? I don't see. Yeah, but if you scoot a little bit, then they can all see me. Yeah, good, perfect. Yeah, so from this position, you can either be in a mermaid start or you can be in the little Cleopatra start, and you let the ball roll to the side, let your body open to the side, and roll back up to sit. And glide and feel long, and lift back. And just 2 more times. Glide and feel long, and lift. And the last time, and reach long, and lift up and through. Beautifully done. All right. Take the ball to the side for just a moment. Come down onto your elbow once more. Extend your legs. So your legs are either on top of each other or one foot is in front of the other. So we're going to do a little plank, a little side plank. Haven't done that in a while. Good day for that. If your back is bothering you, and this is a lot of task, if your shoulder is bothering you, you can do this from sitting. You can do it from a hand position and use your body this way. You can support with one hand, lots of versions to still get a side lift from the legs. If you do the side plank, elbows under your shoulder, lift through your shoulder, lengthen your body. Inhale, and as you send energy through your feet, through your elbow, let your body float up and away. And then lower back down. Good. And you can do it with knees bent like that and just lift away. And come away. And lower back down. Good. And again, send your body away. Pause here at the top, feeling long. and lower back. And once more, reach long. Good. And if you're comfortable, you can do a few jumping jacks right here. And lower your body back down. Hard to talk and do that at the same time. Come up and away. Let's switch to the opposite side. Come all the way down. Ball is under your ribs. Elbow under your shoulder. Fingers pointing forward. Finding a comfortable position. Taking a moment to adjust everything and let it adjust. And then lifting your body away so the ribs are almost coming away from the ball. And slowly press down into the ball. And press away. And slowly, almost squeeze it a little bit, finding that length. And notice that as you're working through the ribs and the spine, your pelvis is sort of moving sideways in a little bit of a circle, sending the tailbone and the sit bone reaching for the floor. And then almost having them reach in the opposite direction. Now find a place that's neutral. Send your spine long. Find that connection to the front. Just check out where your head is in space. It's amazing. We do it all day long, and yet it can be a new experience, right? So feeling long, sending your top leg long, hovering above the floor, parallel to the floor, lifting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now circle 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Reverse 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Keep your ankle flexed. Fold your hip. Pump, pump to the front, point your toes, and sweep to the back. Pump, pump, and sweep. Every once in a while, check out your shoulder and your head and your position, and lift yourself so you're not hanging out on the ball, but it's just there. It's just a little, for yourself, a little way in space. And one more, I think, is that 8? And sweep. And then lower your leg back down. This time, let your arm lengthen itself up and over. Send the top leg long, allow your body to lengthen and reach. There you go. Use the ball as a nice fulcrum to get that space between the ribs and the pelvis. And almost you can sense that space between the ribs that increases. You can breathe into your ribs and feel that you're creating space between each rib and all those tissues, all that intercostal tissue that becomes so tight sometimes. Can release and open and allow for a nice big breath laterally as well. Good. And from this position, you can hang there, and then you can just let your body gently roll to the front as if your breastbone and your nose are looking forward, and you can turn to the opposite side and let your chest open to the front as much as balance and position on the ball allows. And try it one more time in both directions. And come back. And return to the center. Good. Bring a hand in front, come up to sitting. And from your chosen position, let the ball roll out, lengthen away. And roll back up. There you go. And you can go as far as it's comfortable. Whoops. And you can roll out again and lengthen. And lift up, and that's a great alternative. So if this one is hard, sometimes it can be hard for the shoulder, the arm to have the stability here. You can absolutely do our mermaid position, supporting yourself. And come back, and just one more time. Extend and lengthen, reach, reach, reach long in both directions through the crown point. How about the position of our head here? Are we looking up, or are we looking forward with the crown point reaching? And come back and up. Good. Ball comes to the side, planking from this side, planking, or you can use your seated position. You can use your knees bent and coming away. You can lengthen your legs away from you. Elbows directly under you. Lift yourself away. Let the hips and the body come away from the floor. Finding the quiver for a moment and lower back down. You can also choose to hold it longer if it feels good to you. And on the exhale, and inhale back. And 2 more. Exhale up and away. And inhale back. Last time, up and away. Hold it right here. And you can do, and 2, and 3, and 4. And lower your body back down. Very good. Come up to sitting. Bring the ball under your feet. Sit up tall. Got it? Sitting up tall, let the ball roll out and let it roll towards you. And let it roll out and let it roll towards you. And then let your body roll to the back and let it roll up to sit. And extend and come back. And extend and come back. And 4 more. Reach out. You can let your arms come with you. You can let them go to the side. You can let one go to one side. You can let one go to the other side. And then 1 more right in the middle, and that was a lot more than 4, I know that. And come up and send your ball to the side. Come around to the front. 1 more time. Round your spine into your cat stretch. And let your body extend and find the length and the opening through the small of the back. And sending your tailbone down. Undulating your spine up. And roll back. Come to neutral position. Walk 1 foot behind you. So your toes are curled under. Walk the other foot behind you. You can also be in kneeling position for this, but here you are. Pausing in this position. Make sure you're be pretty straight in a plank. And see how it feels to bring 1 knee towards you and the other knee towards you. And the first knee towards you. And the other. And again. And press. And 1 more with each. And go. And from here, send your tailbone towards the ceiling. Into an inverted V. Just paddle your feet a little bit like you're reaching your heel towards the floor. And you can begin to walk your feet as you do that, a little closer to your hands, just little by little, until you're standing on your feet. Let your head and your shoulders feel really like they're resting onto the floor. And slowly roll yourself up to standing. And let your body open, roll your thumbs back. And return to standing. Good. All right. Well done. Some of this was hard. Great work. Keep this feeling of the connecting to the front with you, going forward in everything. So now you know when I say bring your chin towards your throat, I do not mean flex your neck. I do not mean tuck your throat, tuck your chin this way. I mean connect to the front so you feel long and connected through your whole entire core. All right, feet parallel, just a little bit wider than parallel. Shift your weight from side to side. And begin to find your weight and your balance on one leg, feeling that engaging sensation, the sense that all your tissues are coming together along this midline, the midline that's now over your leg. And then when you feel that's really connected, allow the foot to float off. And remember, neck is part of that, right? So balance is not finding a balance here and have the rest of your body figure it out. It's already being there, everything connected from top to toe through the tissues, connecting around the midline, a sensation of stability and balance, and allowing your body to then freely move around that. So switch again to the right side. Find your length, finding that connection. If you need a toe on the floor, that's fine. If you need a toe on the other leg, that's fine. If you have that sensation, see how it feels to then move, because you're there, right? Everything is there and you're moving around that center axis that's down through your leg. And try to the opposite side. Lengthen, engage, relax your shoulders, and then see how it moves around that. Can you move that? Can you move your head? Can you move just your eyes? What can move? Everything should stay just the same, because that mindful. One more time to each side. Switching over, having it before you begin to move. Knowing you're there. And then everything should be fine, because you're not losing that centered mindfulness. Whoops, and there I was losing it. There you go. And then switch to the last leg. And standing, finding it, and moving in all directions. Good. Place your feet on the floor. Both of them. Bend your knees slightly and send your arm to the side, and finding our way up onto the forefoot and the toes, and slowly back down. And again, reach long and wide and out and up. And lower back down. 2 more times, out and up. Pause here for a moment, just find the length and find that connection at the front of the neck, as well as the back of the neck and the sides. And the last time you're here, feeling the weight spread over all of the toes, all of the pads of the toes, the bases of the toes. Yeah. And then feeling the length through your spine, the crown point. You could hang there forever this way, right? And then come back down and shake out. Good. Sit into your legs. Let your body just bounce a little bit back into place. The feeling of sitting back, heels into your heels of your sit bones into your heels. Good. There you go. And bring both arms in front of you. And slowly turn to one side and to the other, a little repulse monkey movement, just to let all the tissues connect. Connect the way they are already connected. It's whether we can feel it and allow it to be, whether we can allow that sensation of one cell supporting and facilitating the next, and then supporting and facilitating the next, and each one of them staying in communication. So we're spreading the load evenly with every part of the movement, every part of the stance. Thinking of your organs as they're rotating softly and becoming nice and soft and open, massaging each other as you're moving through space. Bring your awareness to your organs, your stomach and your intestines and everything in there. Thinking about your nervous system and the neural tissues, the nerve tissues that have to glide. They don't stretch or lengthen, they glide amongst the tissues. So envision them freely and smoothly gliding amongst the tissues, amongst the organs. Unblocked, unobstructed. And your breath flowing freely amongst all of it, supporting all of the movement until it feels easy, continuous, effortless. Close your eyes for a moment as you go through this. Feel how that inner mindfulness becomes more apparent. Sense that rotation, the feeling of your organs moving, your breath. Your weight shift. And slowly let your eyes open again, taking in the visuals. And when you're finished with your right arm forward or your left arm forward, the next time lower your hands towards your thighs, standing up tall. Relaxing your arms along your side. Closing your eyes just for a moment again. feeling the stillness of your position, and yet be very alert and aware of the activity and the movement and everything that's far from stillness. The energy, your breath. Perhaps you can sense your heart rate, your pulse, your organs. Can you feel movement amongst your organs? Anything inside and around you. Taking a moment to appreciate the stillness and yet the activity. And with our mind beginning to envision our next activity today, our next step when we're finishing this class, see it clearly so you can go towards it safely in an organized and efficient way. And when you're ready, begin to move your hands and your feet. Slowly let your eyes open, take in the visuals around you. Thank you for being here. You all did a great job, I'm sure. Thank you, Peter. You did quite well with the sore back. And we'll see you next week. Looking forward to it. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye now, everybody.